A city underwater, the day nature struck back. Have you ever imagined waking up to find your city submerged underwater? Streets turning into rivers, cars floating like boats, and people wading through chest-deep water? On May 22, 2025, the city of Wuhan, one of China's largest and most developed cities, faced that nightmare. A rare and extreme rainstorm struck the city, leaving destruction in its wake. For the first time ever, the city's emergency rainstorm disaster mechanism was activated. But was it enough? In this video, we go beyond the headlines. This isn't just a weather report, it's a wake-up call for cities around the world. We'll break down what happened, why it happened, and what we must do in the future. Stay until the end, because amid the chaos are stories of survival, courage, and lessons that matter to us all. When the skies opened over Wuhan, at around 4 a.m. on May 22, 2025, the first rain showers began falling over Wuhan. Initially, it seemed like any other storm. May is notoriously rainy in central China. But this time was different. By noon, torrential downpours had overwhelmed the city. Key districts like Hanyang, Wuchang, and Hangkou received over 100 millimeters of rain, with places like Hongshan District recording nearly 190 millimeters. To compare, a severe rainstorm typically dumps 50 to 80 millimeters in 24 hours. Wuhan exceeded that in just a few hours. Rain intensity at the Yiduan station in Xiaoku District hit 67.6 millimeters per hour. Streets became rivers. Manhole covers blew off from water pressure. The city was caught off guard. The first red flag, a rare disaster alert. At 1:59 p.m., Wuhan's Meteorological Observatory issued a red alert for heavy rain, the highest level warning. By 3:50 p.m., the city activated its rainstorm disaster warning mechanism for the first time in history. Things escalated fast. But the deeper issue, despite the warnings, floodwaters overwhelmed the city's drainage systems. Emergency crews rushed to block off storm drains, redirect traffic, and issue public alerts. Yet in low-lying areas like the Lujia Gate of Wuhan University, water rose to chest level, submerging cars and stranding students. The university redirected traffic through other gates to avoid danger. Infrastructure overwhelmed when a city becomes fragile. Let's talk infrastructure. Wuhan, with over 11 million residents, has invested heavily in urban development. But as seen worldwide, rapid urbanization often outpaces climate-resilient planning. Flooding at Wuchang railway station, a major transportation hub, caused significant disruptions. Intersections like the Zhaishan Interchange and Hongshan Square became impassable. Underpasses filled like bathtubs. Public buses stalled in deep water. Subway lines halted. Citizens carried children on their backs, pushed motorcycles, and tried to keep phones dry as they crossed waist-high floods. This wasn't a technological failure. It was a failure of foresight. Beyond Wuhan, southern China in crisis Wuhan wasn't alone. The storm system extended across provinces: Guangxi, Guangdong, Guizhou, Hunan, Hubei, Anhui, and Jiangxi. Nearly all of southern China faced relentless rain. By May 24th, cumulative rainfall in many regions was projected to surpass 200 millimeters, raising extreme risks of flash floods, landslides, and geological disasters. In rural Hunan, towns reported rivers breaching banks, schools closed, emergency shelters opened. In Anhui, a village was evacuated after cracks appeared on a hillside. Flash floods took lives. This was no longer a city's problem. It was a regional emergency. The climate crisis connection. Why is this happening more often? Climate scientists have warned for decades. Rising temperatures allow the atmosphere to hold more moisture. This leads to more extreme and concentrated rainfall. Wuhan's flood isn't an isolated case. It's part of a global pattern. In 2021, Germany faced historic floods that killed over 180 people. In 2022, a third of Pakistan was submerged. In 2023, New York City experienced flash flooding from sudden extreme rains. Extreme weather is increasing, yet many urban areas remain ill-prepared. Climate adaptation is no longer optional, it's urgent. Voices from the flood, personal stories, a family's escape. At 5 p.m., just as the red alert was issued, Mr. Liu's family in Wuchang noticed water entering their home rapidly. Within 20 minutes, the ground floor was underwater. Power was out. Using flashlights and life vests from 2020, they floated their 3-year-old in an inflatable kiddie pool to a neighbor's third-floor apartment. Student volunteers, dozens of Wuhan University students formed a volunteer group to help evacuate the elderly near Lujia Gate. Despite wading through polluted water, they delivered food and medicine to those trapped. Their bravery was recognized by local media and officials. The doctor who stayed. Dr. Zhang, a cardiologist near East Lake, stayed behind as most staff evacuated. He worked 32 hours straight to treat immobile patients. One was a 78-year-old man needing dialysis. He would not have survived without Dr. Zhang. "Floods can't stop a heartbeat," he said. Urban planning flaws. Despite upgrades since the 2020 flood, Wuhan's drainage network couldn't handle the deluge. Clogged drains, construction debris, and aging pipes worsened the situation. Urban sprawl also led to reduced water absorption, meaning rain had fewer places to soak into the ground. Instead, it rushed through the streets. Experts urge adopting the sponge city model, green parks, permeable pavement, and water retention ponds to naturally manage rain. What can we learn? Global takeaways. Wuhan's flood is a severe case study, but it offers key lessons. Early warnings are crucial, but must include public education. Urban planning must evolve, with sponge city designs and distributed systems. Climate resilience equals national security. Infrastructure must consider worst-case scenarios. Invest in community response. Volunteers, neighborhood leaders, and first responders made a huge difference. Recovery and rebuilding. By May 26th, water had receded in most of Wuhan. Cleanup crews worked tirelessly, but long-term damage is still being assessed. Mold, contaminated water, economic loss, and psychological trauma linger. City officials vowed to upgrade flood infrastructure, invest in green spaces, and expand early warning systems. But implementation takes time. Meanwhile, citizens demand accountability, not just from the government, but also from developers who ignored environmental risks. Final reflections: humanity and nature. The Wuhan flood isn't just a local disaster, it's a symptom of a global imbalance. Nature is no longer whispering, it's shouting. Are we paying attention? There's a powerful lesson here. The vitality and adaptability of the human spirit are remarkable. People innovate. They survive. They rebuild. But we must go further than resilience. We must commit to prevention. Because the next storm won't wait for us to be ready. We live in an age of unprecedented scientific capability. Satellites can predict storms. AI can model flood risk. We have green building techniques, renewable energy, and climate-smart urban planning. What we lack is the unified political and public will to act decisively. When nature strikes, the poorest suffer first. Vulnerable communities, those in low-lying zones, in informal housing, or with limited mobility, bear the brunt of disasters. A just climate policy must protect these voices first. The flood showed us what human compassion looks like. Strangers carrying elders, neighbors sharing food, children comforting one another. This is our strength. This is our humanity. Words from experts. A call for change. Dr. Mei Lin, a climate scientist at the Chinese Academy of Sciences, said in an interview, "Wuhan's flood is not a once-in-a-century event anymore. With the current warming trajectory, events like this could become the new normal. We must rethink our entire relationship with the environment, from consumption to construction." Architect and urban planner Professor David Kim added, "Cities must stop treating green space as luxury. Trees, wetlands, and open ground are infrastructure. They are just as important as roads and bridges in the era of climate change. Humanity and compassion, lessons in solidarity. Amid destruction,